What's up, everybody? Welcome to Episode 5, Season 2 of SportsCasters. We thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
Before it slows up, before the window of opportunity closes up. I came, I saw, I conquered, I'm ball. Yeah. I came, I saw, I conquered, I'm ball. Yeah. Yo, we should get 'em, so I got 'em all. Yeah. And turn this bitch into a barrier.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of SportsCasters Media. I'm your co-host, Makayla Evans. Today's SportsCasters is brought to you by Rells Revenge and official Slim Dub Music. Today, I'm here with our lovely host, Jalia Santos, along with our founder, Lyles Jr., and our two sports analysts, Sterling Harris and Matthew Anderson. We also have two special guests today, Jayden Simmons and Trey Harris. So welcome, everyone. So our first topic we are going to dive into today is LeBron James a bucket? So I'm going to let you guys take it away.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is, what do you define as a bucket?
Yeah.
I feel like if we're talking about like a sharpshooter and could just get the ball into the net, then I don't think he's a bucket. I think he's a champ. Obviously, he's a champion right now, but I wouldn't consider him a bucket.
The kind of thing you have to kind of mention too is, you know, when I think of bucket, I think of somebody who can get the ball in the hoop. It doesn't matter how they do it, whether it's 30 feet out, whether it's a layup, whether it's a dunk, whether it's mid-range. At the end of the day, if you hit buckets, you get buckets. So that's the one thing that I take into account. We actually spoke on this in our Twitter group chat, and it actually got into a pretty heated debate between Sterling, Trey, and Jayden. So I'm going to let them take this part over because I know they talk about this a little bit. So y'all go ahead.
Go ahead, Jayden. Go ahead, man. Where's Trey at? Go ahead. Good job.
Right here.
Go ahead.
Jayden, you can go ahead.
So like when I'm looking at LeBron James, I kind of agree with Chris's definition of it, of like a bucket. I think that it's just a guy who can get you a bucket, essentially, a guy who can get you a shot, like whether it's mid-range, three-pointer, a dunk, a dude is just going to get you points efficiently. And like if you're looking at LeBron's career as a whole, looking at 27.7 points per game, on what? I know Trey knows the percentage. What's the percentage on that?
His career field goal percentage?
Yeah.
It's like around like 50. It's not horrible, but his early Cleveland days hurt his percentage.
So like if you're looking at the prime of LeBron's career, he's going to get you 28 points a night on making more than half of his shots. So like I feel like that's a guy that you can trust to get you a bucket. That's why I consider LeBron James overall as a bucket.
I got a question for y'all. If you had to ask LeBron James to do one thing in a game, what would it be? LeBron, I need you to make a play for me, or LeBron, I need you to get me a bucket?
Well, see, the thing about playmaking in basketball.
No. One or the other. One or the other.
Playmaking in basketball, if you want to make a play on offense, it's going to end in a bucket. So LeBron is going to do both. If he has to make a play, I mean, you can't ask LeBron what to do when he goes down the court because he doesn't know what he's about to see. So if the pass is there, he's going to take it. But we all know the man averages 32.4 points per game in the finals since he left Miami. So we all know the man can get a bucket. Of course he's a bucket.
Okay, how many points did Giannis average this year? You're going to call him a bucket too?
LeBron James.
He averaged 30 points per game.
In the
But
playoffs.
you won't call Giannis a bucket?
I mean, in the regular season, yes.
Yes, in the regular season.
God.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I didn't know regular season was where we stopped everything and just called it a day. I thought the postseason mattered too.
You asked
I thought
about
the postseason mattered too.
You asked about Giannis, so I said in the regular season, Giannis is a bucket.
Okay. Here's my thing with a bucket. When we're talking about a bucket, I feel like in the manner in which you score and where you are psychologically and how you score determines if you are a bucket or not. If I'm looking at LeBron James, I'll be like, oh, yeah, LeBron's going to make a play. He's going to be the best playmaker on the floor. I'm not going to say LeBron's going to be the best scorer on the floor. Not one time I look at the game and be like, oh, there's not another dude that can score that can't score better than LeBron on the floor. There's always another dude that's a better bucket getter than LeBron. Like, I consider Anthony Davis more of a bucket than LeBron, to me. Now, if you want to split it up in tiers, maybe, like, you know, there's probably your first, second, and third tiers of buckets. So the first tier clearly is going to be Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Dame Lillard, Jamal Murray, That's that James Harden. That's your first tier of buckets. Second tier, I'd say Kawhi Leonard. Who's another guy? Steph Curry. We getting Anthony Davis. I even put Jokic more as a bucket than Bron, in my opinion.
Okay.
In the third tier, you can slide
Bron.
You can slide Bron in the third tier of the bucket getters that you could label in the league, but he's not a top tier bucket getter in the league, in my opinion. Yes.
Who has led the NBA Finals in points for 5 of the last 6 seasons?
I don't care.
LeBron James. So he asked
I don't care. He can lead the Giannis has led the NBA in points the last 2 seasons.
No, he hasn't. James Harden has.
There 20. Okay, he's a bucket getter, isn't he? But Giannis won league MVP.
Top 3 this season, actually,
averaging 29 whatever points or 27 whatever points in the league. And I don't ever look at Giannis and say he's a bucket getter. I think Giannis knows how to score, but he's not necessarily a bucket in terms of offensive skill set, how he gets his points and things like that. He just knows how to be there. If Dwight Howard dunks the ball 10 times a game, he's gonna have 20 points.
But he doesn't do that.
I said if though, you gonna call him a bucket if that happens?
It's not gonna happen. Like you talking what ifs? I'm talking about what actually is happening.
Well, Dwight Howard did when. How much he averaged in Orlando? Was he a bucket there?
Yes, he was a bucket in Orlando.
He was a bucket. Dwight Howard.
Yes.
So Sterling, I have a question because I want. This is a legit question. So for somebody who you just said, I forgot who you just said, but you gave the notion of somebody that knows how to score and somebody that gets a bucket. My question to you is, what's the difference? That's a legit question.
I feel like somebody who knows how to score are like people like, let's say, Ben Simmons, Iguodala, not even Iguodala per se, but like you can say Iguodala, people that play in good systems that like if you just know, if I slip here, I'm gonna be open. That's a jumper right there. Stuff like that. You know how to get it. You know how to score within the flow of the game. You can score a basket. But to me, getting a bucket is like, I need you. We're stuck right now. It's a 12-1 run. I need you to stop the bleeding. Go score me a point right here.
And
that's the
So did you watch the 2013 finals?
What about him?
Game 6 when LeBron scored 18 points straight before Ray Allen hit that 3-pointer?
Oh, that was great and all. He did good.
What about when LeBron scored 29 of the last 30 against the Pistons in the conference finals at 22 years old?
He did good. He knows how to score, but I still don't consider him an elite bucket getter.
But like he just matched exactly what you asked for. He just matched the exact definition that you asked for.
I said,
but because it's LeBron James, he's not a bucket.
I just don't look at his skill set and say he's a bucket getter. I didn't say he can't score. I said he's in a lower tier, but like looking at the way he scores his points, I'm not like, oh my God, LeBron's about to come down here and straight up go for. He doesn't give me the perception he's gonna go for 30, 40 every night because he wants to. Like I feel like other part. Did you see what he did in these playoffs?
I saw what he did against the Lakers. Yes, he got out of there in 5. But LeBron in Game 5 of the finals dropped 40. So it just doesn't. I don't understand how one's a bucket and the other isn't.
Jamal Murray had a great postseason. Don't get me wrong, but like in the regular season, like he's like the opposite of Giannis in that regard. He did tremendous in the postseason, but in the regular season, he was getting you 18 points a night.
He's still a bucket getter. Here's the thing. I feel like mentally too, it comes down to where you are in your mentality. I'm going to score the ball. What do we think about with Kobe? His mentality was, I'm going to score at all costs. LeBron's mentality is, I'm going to make the best play for the team. Like, I feel like if he openly acknowledges that type of stuff to the public, then he's acknowledging, I'm not going to go get a bucket, but I will make and make the best play for the team, which is where that knowing how to score comes into play. Is like, well, I understand how to score, and I can probably do this all day. Which is one of the frustrating things with me with LeBron. I'm like, LeBron, you could probably score anytime you want to. You just choose not to. At certain times, in certain moments, at the worst times, you just choose not to. But the mental part of it of like, I'm going to get this bucket. Kyrie in 2016. I mean, I wish Brown would. I mean, he would just close it out then. Maybe I'll put him in that top tier of buckets. But he's like, nah, I'm gonna give it to my bucket getter. Kyrie's gonna get me this bucket here.
Can I ask
to
you
win
a
the
question
finals.
about that game? Game 7?
Please, we can go on about that series too if you want to. I got my thoughts about that
points in
series.
that game.
LeBron probably did.
Who did in the game before?
But no, I think him and Kyrie was tied in game 5.
No, that was game 5 because.
But we can get it. But we want to get into that series. We can get to that series.
Oh,
If
Lord.
you wanna,
Okay.
if you want to know, if you want to know
We can
why,
lead to several series. I
Cause-
feel like this topic could be a whole entire game with you guys, which would be great and entertaining. But I think it starts back off with what Matt said. What do you consider a bucket as well? Because I don't know. I think there's some differences on what we're thinking, what we consider a bucket. I don't know what I consider a bucket. But we're going to transition into our next topic, which is the Yankees, and they have been eliminated from the MLB playoffs. And I know, Chris, you said that you had them going all the way. So who do we think is next up on the chopping block, or were we expecting the Yankees to be eliminated? What are your thoughts?
I feel betrayed. I got that notification. I said, well, I'll be doggone. Man. And then here it is, the Astros are doing well. Like, they're actually winning and actually, like, advancing. And I'm like, and they're not cheating. Y'all not checking. So it's like, you know what?
oh, they're struggling
What
now.
I've seen, like, I really think, like, it could come down between – I've been watching the Braves a little bit, and they're making some noise too. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see what the Braves on. But hey, I'm not sure what the record is for the Dodgers, like how their playoffs is going. But I think the Dodgers are kind of at a standstill in their playoff series. So we'll see. But I see the Braves making some noise too.
And
Yeah,
just-
I was sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was definitely hurt by it because I am a diehard Yankees fan. I've been a Yankees fan my whole life. So, they always get to this point where they go into the playoffs and they doing good, and there's something always stops them. There's always something. And, they had it. They had the game. They was up for like 4 innings, and then they was tying the game, and literally at like the last 2 innings, they let them come back. And that is so annoying. All athletes, anyone who watches games, how crazy it is to lose in that last little bit. And it's that's the game that defines your next step. You know what I mean? So I was definitely heartbroken. I know they were. And honestly, I'm going to be pissed off if the Astros go any further than this. Like, I'm truly going to be mad. I'm a hater, 100%. Definitely a hater on this. So I hope the Astros lose. I'm going with the Dodgers on this.
And last season, whenever we talked about the MLB, I said that I was hoping, because, I'm always going to go for the guy that did wrong and is trying to make his comeback. I was hoping the Astros were going to come back, and it looks like they've been able to do so. So just for clarification, the Rays beat the Yankees, and now the Rays are playing the Astros. Does anybody know what that series is right now? I think they're playing right now as we speak.
I think it's 3.
They're playing right now. 2-0 Rays.
3-1.
It's 3-1 Rays.
The series, yeah.
3-1 Rays.
3-1? Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, my bad.
Well, looks like that might not come true, but I was rooting for Houston while they were in it.
How do you root for the villain? That's crazy.
I love Jayden said it, and I think on Reasonable Doubt, he said, as long as the villain wins, and I felt that. I really did.
Yeah.
I think I feel the same. I feel like I root for the villain.
There you go.
I mean, hey,
I'm with you, Matt.
look, when KD was the villain, nobody wanted to root for him.
Not
But-
that part.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't root for the villain during that time.
Nah, for real.
No, but this, I mean, I told y'all, the Yankees, they needed a bullpen. Like, those guys, they could not pitch to save their lives. They can hit all they want to, but if one team is going to pitch better than you, you're going to lose 9 times out of 10 in baseball at least. But the Dodgers, that was my pick, going to the World Series and winning it. And then they were scaring me for the first 2 games because the Braves just absolutely put it on them the first 2 games. But then last night, I mean, it was bombs away. It was, I think the score was 11-0. I thought the game was over.
Bad.
First, it said no, top of the first. I said, oh my. So I think and that was with Clayton Kershaw currently not playing because I think he's having back spasms. So, oh my God, if the Dodgers tie it up and then Clayton Kershaw comes back, I think we can shut it down and go ahead and send it to the World Series because they're too balanced of a team. I think that game last night was a huge momentum builder. going forward in this series. And they just – I think they feel like, oh, yeah, we can hit. We just get one more and Clayton comes back. We're going to wrap it up.
I hear you, Sterling, but the question is, do the Dodgers really want Clayton to come back? Because Clayton Kershaw is one of the biggest playoff chokers in sports history.
I think this is their overcoming season. This is the season they finally overcome all this stuff. They know I think for him personally, learning that the Astros is cheating, I think could kind of clear his mind, because the whole thing with that series was like, oh my God, Clayton Kershaw's getting straight bombed off right now. Like, what's going on? But afterwards you learn, oh yeah, no, they just knew my stuff, and I mean I can't do nothing about that. Maybe his conscience is cleared now, and when he comes back, he'll feel more confident playing in the postseason, because he definitely wants that back.
Yeah, maybe. Personally, like, I'm a Mets fan, so like I'm sitting by watching all these playoff teams. I'm like, we should really be here, but it is what it is. Sorry for the Yankees loss. But I hope that the Braves get eliminated too, because I can't stand them. I'm definitely I'm seeing them.
Oh, snap. Zay came in.
Oh, snap. What's up, Zay?
What's up?
So you sound like Megatron.
Chill out.
So the topic at hand, man, is the Yankees are eliminated. So we trying to figure out, who's coming out, like who are now the contenders for the World Series. In your opinion, who you think?
Rays and Braves, Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
Wow.
Why
Give me
do
the
you think
Rays
that?
and the Dodgers.
Why do you think the Rays and the Braves?
I feel like the Braves are knocking on the door, seeming like, okay, we want to be in. But the weakest link is going to be pitching. That's why. But I feel like against a stacked powerhouse veteran Dodgers team, I feel like it's going to go to 7. I know that for a fact. But like, is it going to be enough for them to make it to the World Series? Rays, it all goes down to who wants it more. It's the Rays have a young talent team, and then you got the Astros who are like have veterans on the team. You got Tyler for the Rays. You got Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, the Cy Young MVP, Cy Young winner from like 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then you got, I think they still got Charlie Morton. Then they have like a whole young team, and then you got the Astros with Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, George Springer, Lance McCullers Jr., Zach Greinke. They have all those veterans on that team. But I really think the Astros are going to lose to the Rays. And like, in my opinion, and I'll speak for myself and I speak for like everybody else in the MLB, majority of the MLB, they don't want to see Houston in the World Series.
Oh, no, you're correct on that.
So, I mean,
nobody want to see that. Please. Unless you're mad.
Yeah, I'm going for
oddball out.
For sure.
But I got Tampa Bay and Atlanta. But both series are going to go to at least 7. Going to go to at least 6, but I got a bare max of 7.
All right, y'all, we're going to transition to our next topic. So this past Sunday, Dak Prescott, he got hurt in a football game. I don't even have to show. I think everyone saw that video of his leg, his ankle, literally on the other side. It was not looking the way it should have been. So what do y'all think is the future for the Cowboys, if anything changes for football and all?
The Cowboys bet against him. They bet against Dak Prescott, give him that franchise tag, and they won. But it looks really bad from their public relations standpoint and how kind of the media is kind of spinning actually what happened. And so I think they're going to mess around and end up having to give him the contract. I know Jerry Jones is like, God darn it. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to sign him. But they did bet against him, and they did win the bet.
So you think that Jerry Jones is going to sign him?
I hope so. I would like it would look so bad PR-wise, especially because Dak Prescott's like what you would think an NFL franchise would want from a quarterback, and it's like, oh, he kept asking for his contract, which I think they did offer him. It just wasn't for the amount of money that he wanted, and for y'all to cut him whenever he was down. Did they offer him?
No, like they did, but the problem was they wanted to give him a 5th year. But if you give him a 5th year, it takes away the amount of guaranteed money he get. So that was kind of where the disconnect came. He wanted 4. Re-up after 4.
And what were they
more guaranteed money? They wanted to give him I don't know the actual numbers, but they wanted to give him a 5th year to try to take away most of the guaranteed money he would have got for that 5th year. So it's like he actually would have made less if he signed
in
the
simple
longer
terms,
year.
he wanted Pat Mahomes money when he hasn't done Pat Mahomes things. That's the simple way of doing it. I
I
think
don't think of that, but
I feel like that's what it came down to. Like you wanted what Pat Mahomes has gotten, but you haven't done what he has done. Now, granted, there's on field, off the field circumstances behind why he was able to do what he had to do. I mean, I understand that, but from signing him after what has happened, I don't see it. I feel like I agree with you, Matt. I feel like from a PR perspective, if Jerry Jones does not sign him, then I don't think that'll be America's favorite team for a little minute. Just because everybody loves Dak, no one loves Jerry Jones. So it's like, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. Whatever. So I feel like it would be a smart move to sign him from an off the field perspective. But from an on the field perspective, I feel like, it just depends. You got to let him, what I want to say, I guess you got to let him rehab, come back, get the flow of game again, and this, that, and the third. And then Andy Dalton, I feel like he picked up when Dak first got hurt, he picked up that game well. I did not expect that. I did not expect that come from Andy Dalton. Not saying that he's a bad quarterback, but I just didn't expect that. And I think from a draft perspective, let's say the Cowboys, they end up, somewhere up, creeping up towards in the top picks of the draft. Who they going to get? Are they going to try to get another QB if they don't sign Dak? Or is it going to be a case where they go for somebody else? I think it all depends. Me personally, if they don't sign Dak, I see them sign another quarterback. I was thinking Trevor Lawrence, but a whole bunch of mock drafts had Trevor Lawrence going to the Jets. So we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I think Trevor will probably be gone before they end up having a chance to him. I think maybe what you could potentially have would be them get a guy maybe in the second or third round and have him sit under Andy Dalton for some years. But although Andy Dalton didn't play bad, I don't see him being a long-term quarterback. I think he's a great backup. But, yeah, he's old because he entered the NFL like age 27, I think, because he had done played minor league baseball a little while. So he's definitely mature. But I guess he just didn't get the job done in Cincinnati. But this is a good second shot for him.
That's a nice way of saying, "Oh, Matt, good job."
Good PR.
Yeah. And I wanna go back to what you were saying about Jerry Jones and the PR thing. If they don't re-sign Dak, I honestly don't think that Jerry Jones cares. I think that he just wants to do what's best for his pockets, and I feel like what's best for his pockets is not re-signing Dak after this injury. And I really feel bad for him. I hate the Cowboys. I'm a Giants fan, division rival. They just beat us and everything. And yeah, props to Andy Dalton, but at the same time, it is the Giants defense. Pretty much Swiss cheese. It's pretty much Swiss cheese. But I think that what the Cowboys should do, if I was in that situation, is roll with Andy Dalton for the rest of the season because you really don't have a choice. And then, like Matt suggested, look in the second and third round for a quarterback option potentially for the future. You got guys that aren't going to go super high. You got the Sam Ellingers. Sam Ellinger isn't all that, but it's
overrated.
It's an insurance policy.
I ain't touching Sam Ellinger within a 10-foot pole. Get him away from me.
It's an insurance policy, man. You got guys like him that could possibly be an option, second, third, fourth round quarterbacks that you can invest in while Dak's healing up. And if Dak comes back playing starting caliber, then sure. But I wouldn't give him a big contract after that injury. That's a gruesome one.
GM Sterling, let's hear what you would do in this situation.
Oh man, yeah. So the piggyback off of Jayden, it was the Giants. Stop the presses. I think anybody could have stepped into that situation and won that game. I think even Blake Bortles could have stepped into that situation and won that game. My lord, the Giants are so horrible. Sorry, Jayden, they suck. But
hey, we suck. We suck.
I'm out.
But to this Dak Prescott thing, I've been thinking about it. And I actually feel like over the last couple of days, seeing how people have responded to it, the amount of support he's gotten, that Jerry's going to mess around and have to sign this dude to a good contract. Reason being, y'all say, what helps Jerry's pockets? If Dak Prescott gets re-signed, he will be the leading jersey seller for the Dallas Cowboys, without a doubt. He will lead the team in jersey sales, probably be a top NFL in jersey sales because of his comeback story with that type of, when you see an injury like that, your heart just drops. But
is he number 2?
I don't know what he is.
Jersey sales?
I don't know, but he's gonna be up there. Hey Matt, you check that out? I don't know. You usually be faster.
Sure, Sterling. I guess I'll work for you.
I need you to check that out for real quick. You know what I'm talking
Go ahead.
You usually be the one too.
He usually be the one that
It's
be
about
on it.
to stop. But go ahead. I'll figure it out.
But I feel like that would help Jerry's pockets to a degree. Also, the way that his teammates love the death out of him, like they love him. And when you're talking about building a championship team, you want to have a guy that's a quarterback, that's a leader, that is the locker room leader. Like everybody looks to that when they need anything. It's him. And you don't give that away and let it walk for nothing, no matter how bad an injury is. And we talk about the draft. I don't believe Dallas will be able to get much picks in the first round. Anyway, they're going to get a great quarterback if you're going to replace him, because they gave 2 away for Amari Cooper, which kind of made them sign him because, I mean, you just wasted – that was a waste of draft picks for that. 2? What, he's 2?
Yeah, Zeke is first in there, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he will – if he comes back next year, he will be number 1. And that's pockets. That's money to Jerry Jones. But, yeah, back to the draft. I don't see them getting no top-tier quarterback in that situation. Based off of just how they traded first round picks away to Las Vegas with Amari and everything. So I think they end up re-signing them. I think Jerry has to read the room and see that everybody in Dallas loves this guy. Everybody in Dallas wants him to be the quarterback of the team. They don't want to see nobody else come there and quarterback that team. And I mean, he's the best dude for him. Like, if Dak Prescott got released, he's signed before he leaves the building by another team. That's how good Dak Prescott is.
So, do you really think – I mean, let's actually think about who Jerry Jones is. Do you really think he's going to sign Dak Prescott?
He's loyal to his players, I would say.
I think he will. I think he will.
I think
the guys that he likes,
okay.
His favorites, the guys that he really likes, he's usually pretty loyal to. Maybe the rest of them, they'd be kind of like he get rid of. Now, but I will ask y'all this, and I know y'all going to go and debate this with me for a second. But I think Deshaun Watson got $36 million a year, right? 4 years, $144 million.
Yeah, let me double check.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much do you think that Dak will get?
33.
not bad.
Just exactly what he was looking for, 33.
Just right under just Deshaun Watson.
Yep, 4 year, $160 million.
Because shouldn't he technically reset? I guess barring the injury, it wouldn't work like that. But wouldn't he usually reset the market? Like, since Deshaun got this amount, then the next guy comes in and resets, and it kind of keeps going. Isn't that usually how it goes?
Now he can't reset the market. I think the goal was for him to reset the market and trying to get, at that point in time, but now he can't. But I think he'll get exactly where he was looking for, which I think was a 31 to 33 mil range. Anyway, that's kind of what he was looking for anyway. But when they added that fifth, which is why he wanted that, Deshaun got 4 years, right?
Yeah.
That's why he didn't want to get that. That's one of the main reasons he didn't want that 5th year, because you add that 5th year, now you're spreading out the amount of guarantee money you will actually get, which is where the whole conflict, I think, between him and Jerry was. I think Jerry was trying to hold out more on guarantee money, so they just giving him the 4 years that Bill O'Brien ended up doing before. Bill O'Brien's final move before getting fired is keep the franchise QB. Good job. You did something good. But I think that was the whole thing. Like, Deshaun got that 4-year deal. I think Wentz got the same type, maybe I think it was like a 4-year deal. These quarterbacks are usually getting these 4-year deals, I feel like. And Dak was kind of wanted to get in that $31 to $33 million range, especially given how he hadn't missed a practice, basically. He never missed a game until, of course, this Sunday would be the first time he misses a game. Like, he's actually won more playoff games than y'all have in the last 20 years. He deserved that money, and I think he's going to get it now because Jerry will look and say, oh, man, if I'll sign this dude back, these people will not be happy with me.
Yeah.
And no offseason issues, too, which is big, and especially in Dallas. And I think Zeke gets plenty of them, so therefore they don't need to get them as well.
Yeah. Personally, I just think they just shouldn't even sign Amari Cooper to that horrible deal. That was just awful. You could have drafted 20 receivers in this draft. Why sign Amari Cooper to that?
They said they called Alabama and asked them about what kind of character, not just the character, but like what was going on with Amari. Nick Saban signed off of him. They picked up the phone, got the deal done.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's good. Good job, Saban. Get your guys paid, but a horrible deal. Horrible deal.
All right, yeah. Well, there's still a lot more football to play, so we will see how this all transpires in the next upcoming weeks. Trey, Jayden, and Zay, thank you guys for coming on this. All right, so there will be a lot more football to talk about as the week transpires. Trey, Jayden, and Zay, thank you guys for coming on this episode. Chris, Sterling, Matt, and our co-host, Makayla. As always, once again, SportsCast is brought to you today by Rells Revenge and Slim Dub Music. I will hope to see you guys, and thank you for coming again, and we'll be back next week for episode 6. Bye.